Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please, please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So we are looking at multi-party system today. We are looking at multi-party system. Now, what is a multi-party system? A multi-party system is the type of party system that is in operation where more than two political parties are allowed to contest elections in a state. In a multi-party system, a coalition government may be formed if no party had absolute majority seats in a parliamentary election. Lebanon, Brazil, Denmark, Finland, Germany, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Pakistan, Portugal, Serbia, Mexico, Sweden, Syria, Taiwan, and the Philippines are examples of nations that have used a multi-party system effectively in their democracies. In these countries, usually no single party has a parliamentary majority by itself. Instead, multiple political parties form coalitions for the purpose of developing power blocks for governing. Now, such a political system is actually called multi-party system. A situation where more than two political parties are allowed to coexist, within the political system. Okay, so there is actually presence of, several ideologies of political parties. So they come to the legislature because, of course, one political party will not win, will not have a majority in the parliament. All of these, some of these political parties will actually form coalition, and then they will, form power blocks within the parliament. Now, what are the reasons why states actually adopt, multi-party system? Number one is the heterogeneity of the state. Heterogeneity of the state. Now, most countries that practice federalism are heterogeneous. As such, people can afford to align and realign within the country according to their ethnic group, tribe, religion, or region. Multi-party system affords the citizenry the opportunity to express themselves freely as against two-party system or one-party system. Now, democracy is about choices, and where the choices are unnecessarily limited, okay, it makes the people not to have a sense of belonging, because the more the choices, the more the people have alternatives, and the better, and the better for the polity. Now, when a society is made up of divergent groups, okay, with completely different cultural background, language, religion, or race, they tend to opt for federalism. And where you have this kind of system, the government, the government most times actually adopts, okay, the multi-party system. So that is number one. Number one is heterogeneity of the state. What is number two? Number two is lack of unity among political elites. Then number three, if the electoral system permits it, okay, one of the ways, to easily have a multi-party system is when the constitution, and by extension the electoral system of the land, allows it. Now, the people are the ones who write the constitution by themselves, and so if they find it expedient, to have a multi-party system that will be convenient for them, they will naturally evolve a multi-party system, because in the long run, it is the people that the multi-party is actually meant for. So that is, number three. Number four, multi-party system endorses the ideals of democracy. Now, what are the ideals of democracy? Now, democracy actually comes with alternatives and choices. Okay, so people generally like alternatives, so that they can see very well before making choice, to avoid the mistakes. Now, many choices available to you in a democracy are what makes the process interesting. Variety, they say, is the spice of life. For democracy to be participatory, which is the banality or mantra of liberalism, there is need for people, to be availed the opportunity to make choices among various political, parties, because the hoi polloi will at every point in time, be interested in the deliverables, delivered to them. And the party that is disposed to provide these dividends of democracy will always be the preferred choice. Okay, so that is number 4. Number 5, multi-party system gives voters more opportunity to participate in politics. Then number 6, it provides strong opposition in the polity. Now, multi-party system is very good because the other parties that didn't win election will act as watchdogs to the party in power, thereby preventing excessiveness of the ruling party. Now, the rest parties will, after every round of election, act as checks to the ruling party. Okay, so those are the 6 major reasons why the multi-party systems or system is adopted in several political systems. Now, what are the advantages or merits of multi-party system? Number 1, it widens political education. Now, the more political parties within a polity, the better for the polity, because there will be a robust political education coming from all these political parties. Okay, now if you have more than 3 or more than 2 political parties within a system, they will be they will be available for the masses to actually educate them on the intricacies of practicing democracy and of participating in the polity or in politics. Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2, provision of wider choice. So the more political parties, the better for the system, because the people will actually be open to so many alternatives, and by so doing they will actually go for the best. Okay, so number 3, it permits human rights. Okay, within a multi-party system, there is actually the guaranteeing of fundamental human rights, because of course the other political parties that are in opposition will continue to actually question, okay, the ruling party if they become power drunk and start to actually um, um, and start to manhandle the people anyhow. Okay, so the next one, it gives room for democracy. Of course, participatory democracy is guaranteed under the multi-party system. Okay, so it is actually good for a robust democracy. The next one is that multi-party system provides avenue for watchdogs to the government. Of course, the other political parties that are in opposition will act as watchdogs to the ruling party, and thereby ensuring that, of course, the ruling party actually behaves well. Okay, the next one is that it allows for more shades of opinions. Okay, the next one is that it guarantees smooth change of government. The next one is that it permits wider range of ideologies. So there will be several ideologies within the system, because all these political parties will come with different ideologies. Okay, the next one is that it prevents the emergence of dictatorship. Okay, and the last one is that it encourages formation of coalition government. Of course, when you have several political parties making up the parliament, and no political party has a clear majority, there will be a formation of coalition among the political parties, and that will actually help the polity to become very robust. Okay, so what are the disadvantages, what are the demerits of multi-party system? Number 1 demerit is that it is too expensive to run. Now, when you have several political parties, when it is time for election, printing of ballot boxes, of ballot papers, and having all these political parties, on ballot is actually, it is not just a walk in the park. It is actually very expensive. The next one is that it leads to waste of resources. Several political parties, you have political, you have party office holders, you have party headquarters and offices. Now this is money that is actually used to do all of these things. So it leads to waste of resources. The next one is that it is un-African. In Africa, what we know is dictatorship. What we know is monarchism. What we know is actually zero party or one party system. You understand? Where leaders can actually perpetuate themselves. But here, in a multi-party system, there is room for a change of government. There is room for, there is room for heterogeneity. There is room for, for all of these things, which is not amenable to the African culture. The next one is that it is prone to election rigging. Okay, of course, several political parties. Now, several spoons in a soup will actually spoil it, or several hands in a soup will spoil it. So, it leads to rigging. The next one is that it encourages election violence. Okay, the next one is that it leads to unhealthy rivalry. There will be unhealthy rivalry because, of course, you hear things about political assassinations and all of that. It is in a multi-party system that you hear all of that. Okay. The next one is that it does not suit our level of political maturity in Africa. Okay. The next one is that it encourages corruption. Now, that is actually, the bane of economic development of any country. Because when you have multi-party system, a whole lot of people with different orientations, and different, baggages will come to the polity, will come, to the political system, and that leads to a lot of, amorous things. Okay, the next one is it is capable of gravitating the country into disintegration. Okay, so the last one is that it leads to political instability. So when we talk about the multi-party system, it is actually a polity where you have the presence of more than two political parties. Now, in your country, how many political parties do you have? If you have more than two political parties that actually make up the parliament, then what you have in your country is what is known as the multi-party system. Thank you very much.